Hey guys, how's it going today? Welcome back to a video about me, Sean, talking about a knife. This knife here I have today is the HK1S from BPS Knives. Same company that I've been doing knife reviews for a little bit. Uh, I love this knife. Now let's just look at the beauty that is this knife. This was the very first knife I bought from BPS. Not this one specifically. This was the second one I bought. The first one is right here. Uh, and this is what sold me on the company. I couldn't believe the quality that you would get from the Ukraine for $43. Uh, the amount of work to make a blade like this myself. I just can't. I don't understand how they can make a blade this nice with what is clearly hand finishing techniques for $43. I don't know what kind of economy they have in the Ukraine right now, but man, oh man, they must have a low cost of running business there, because if they can produce these knives for 43 Canadian dollars uh, and ship them across the world and still make a profit, yeah, I don't know, but so yeah, I'll get a couple up close looks. So this one right here is the stock one. As you can see, it's like most of the other ones. The finishing lines are still there on the handle, like they I guessing they CNC these handles out. But yeah, the actual finishing work on the handle is not quite done. Uh, they can be brought up to beautiful with just maybe 10 minutes of sanding. I take the handles off to sand them. Torx 2.5, or not Torx, sorry, Hex 2.5. Sometimes you can do it with one screwdriver. Most of the time you need two, because they're threaded into each other there. Sorry about that little break. I had to get myself a little thirst quencher there. Being a stay-at-home dad is hard work. I gotta maintain my hydration. So back to the knife. We have what I have come to find is a pretty nice take on the Benchmade Hunt Saddle Mountain Skinner. The tail right here, the lanyard hole, is a dead giveaway that they modeled this after the Benchmade Saddle Mountain Skinner, which is awesome because I really wanted that knife. I love the styling of that knife, but I can't bring myself to spend $250 plus tax and shipping on a knife, even though it is a Benchmade. It's probably, I think they're using S30V on the old model and S90V on the newer models. Uh, but the steel on those is nicer. Like this is a 1066 high carbon, like every other high carbon BPS. But again, I'm used to that steel. I like it. It's perfect for my needs. I definitely don't mind having to touch up my knives every once in a while. I actually find that a pro because it's good. You get to practice sharpening and honing your skills as far as maintaining your tools. I find a lot of these people who insist on super steels in their knives probably aren't that good at maintaining in the first place. That's why they want those super steels. Uh, I definitely see a huge benefit to being able to sharpen up a knife easier in the field in case you happen to drop it, chip it, or maybe you had to use your knife for something that was uh, a little harder, and you do wear the edge on your knife. Even high end steels have edge wear, so being able to fix your knife without too much work or having to carry a specialized diamond stone is nice. So super steels are all fancy, but they're not necessary to me. All right, so the overall length of the knife is, so bear with me here, you're looking at 21.5 centimeters or 8.5 inches. Usable blade length from the bottom of the choil is 4 inches or 10.2 centimeters, something like that. Nice jimping on the back. It's got a kind of a recurve down the front to a bigger belly, and oh, look at that mirror polish. They don't cheap out on the finishing work there. We got a nice, not overly pointy tip, which makes it good at skinning. I do believe that's why it's the HKS1. I think they're hunting knife, HK hunting knife S Skinner. So yeah, jimping at the back. Handle is a little smaller than the other BPS knives, but it's not too small. It fits into my hand nicely. It's I do wish just a little bit more. There was just a little bit more meat taken out of there from my finger, but I mean, I have huge hands, so I'm probably a minority there. Most people would find this handle more than sufficient size, and even if you don't, it's pretty easy to modify these to make them a little bigger. As you can see, I did to this one. So because I really wanted the Benchmade Saddle Mount Skinner, that was one of the nice things about the Benchmade. They have grooves here for your thumb, so you can hold it and get that pinch grip a little bit closer together. So when you're skinning, I guess, it's a little easier to hold the knife flat as opposed to something like this. Like, you can still hold this flat, but you don't have quite as much contact with the wood as these little cups here. So I did that with a Dremel, just took the scales off and Dremeled little divots out there. And then again, like all the other BPS knives, I took down all the rough finishing edges that are on the factory knives. But overall, this is a very, very well designed blade as far as usefulness goes. You can get in close enough where you can have that fine detail work. Let's see, a piece of wood here. But yeah, you can. It has the ability to get right up in there and still be able to do that fine detail work. But you have a nice belly for either food prep or skinning or meat processing. And this thing came wicked sharp. I'm not sure, I haven't touched this one up in a little while. Let's see if... Yeah, so this is after quite a bit of use already. I haven't really stropped this one up, but let's see the factory one. Let's see if... Oh yeah, that's even better. So this one has never been used. Oh, maybe a little spot there. But they have made this edge very enjoyable to use. So yeah, obviously you can cut paper really good. I might need to strop that a little bit. There does feel like a little chewy spot right there. Scandinavian Grind, like all the other I don't think BPS does anything in their bushcraft line that's not a Scandi Grind. They do have some kitchen knives. I haven't ordered them because, again, I'm pretty sure their kitchen knives are all stainless steel, and BPS uses 5CR13 MOV stainless steel, and I'm not too crazy about that. But you know what? I should give it a try because I wasn't really sold on 1066 steel until I got it from these guys and realized just how well they were treating it. So yeah, weight on this blade, we'll do the unmodified blade. It's not too heavy. It's a great sized blade. So what do we got? 133 grams. And with the sheath, 210. Let's make sure that's all on there. 210, yeah. So 210 grams with the sheath. Let's see if see how much weight I shaved off. Oh, probably with the lanyard. Yeah, it's even heavier. I also oil my blades a lot, so it's all oil in there. All right, so let's let's try something a little different, since I don't think the main use of this knife is wood processing, although it does do good with wood processing. This is more of a skinner knife, more of a meat flesh cutting thing. So I don't have anything to skin right now, but instead I will cut a red pepper. So the main problem with this knife that I have with most bushcraft knives today, or survival style knives, is they tend to make them real thick. I think this is 3 millimeters or 3.2 millimeters thick, which is great, I guess, if you plan on hard use situations. But this was a skinner knife, so you think they'd want to make it just a little bit thinner. I'm pretty sure the Benchmade saddle mount skinner is a full flat or a saber grind. I think it's a saber, actually. I think the grind goes a little higher up, and yeah, so it's gonna have a little less meat behind the edge there, and it's gonna make it a little bit better of a slicer, I think. Haven't had one of the Benchmade ones in my hand, but as far as slicing, we really need to start going more a little towards like the older trades knives, uh, like the old hickory. This one that I'm thinking off bad, where it's like, I think it's like 2 millimeters, 1.8 millimeter thick. Like their steel stock's a lot thicker, so you can get that slicey laser beam when you get a really good edge on it. Is why I like slicing with kitchen knives so much. Like, they're all full flats. They're all uh, very thin behind the edge. So, like, if you're gonna make a knife that's meant for food processing, it doesn't need to be this thick. If I could redesign this knife, I would say put a 2 millimeter blade stock on here, and then you'd have some people, oh, it's not thick enough. It's not gonna put up with batoning. Like, you don't. Why do you always have to build backwards from the hardest core issue? Like, the hardest thing you can do on a knife would be probably battening through some really thick wood. Why do we need to design every knife to be able to do that? Especially when this is a skinner knife. So that's probably the one thing I would say as a negative to this knife is it's too thick. And there's so many knives, like my Terava Puko 140 or whatever. Beautiful knife, great wood processing knife, but it's 4 millimeters thick. So if you want to cut some food with it, which I do, I cook all the dinners out at camp, so I end up using my belt knife for a lot of food processing. It almost inhibits the ability of doing other things, which, I mean, a knife should be it should be a meeting of both, like being able to still be able to process. Like, this can still cut food, obviously, but it's just not nearly as enjoyable as a kitchen knife. I'm just a little. Mm, Sorry about that. Red pepper. That was a good pepper. Just realized how famished I was. I need a little bit of meat to go with that. So yeah, we definitely need to start making knives a little less beefy. I think we don't need a sharpened pry bar for most things. I got the spicy stuff by accident, but it's good. That just means my kid won't eat it on me. So yeah, back to the knife. If BPS, if you can, sorry, spicy. Oh, that's better. Sorry, a chili went in my throat there. If you can, if you could redesign this knife and make it a thinner blade stock, It would be perfect for animal processing, food prep, uh, and then it could do some minor bushcrafting as well, some feather sticking, because you definitely have a lot of functionality to this front flatter part of the blade, where the right before the recurve kind of starts. Uh, so it can still do that. You don't need every knife to be that heavily built, and I'm pretty sure every BPS knife, save for their lower end ones, the BS1 and the BS1 FTS, I think those are 2mm stock. If you can use some of that stock and make this knife in a thinner stock, I would buy a couple of them just to support you guys, and because you took my advice. But uh, I think it would be an overall better cutter that way. But that's just a trend. They're just playing into what people want, I guess. And I'm in the minority if because obviously people are buying the thick blades. I'm still buying them too. I mean, I bought two of these, but they are a pretty same taco style sheath as all the other $40 BPS knives. Nice thick leather. Put some snow seal on that, and it is waterproof. Like, you just can't go wrong with these knives. I think I have two more I got to review, but I'm really running out of good things to say about these BPS knives. Uh, like, as you can see, I'm cutting vegetables. I always make fun of those YouTube videos where it's somebody just cutting vegetables. Of course, a knife's going to cut vegetables. Keep on doing what you're doing, BPS. The HK1S carbon. I always recommend going for the carbon. I'm gonna go wipe down this blade before I get too many spots on it from the red pepper. Anyways, thanks guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about this knife. I think I'm gonna do my Joker next, just so I have something else to talk about. Uh, that'll be a fun little review. I'm gonna pick that knife apart because I spent a little more on it, and I was not too happy with some of the ways it showed up to me. But I will touch more on that later. Have yourself a great day, and thanks for watching.